Hey, welcome to our Achievement Hunter series, aimed at mulching the Stormwind gameplay achievements into Fertilizer. We've rammed our way through the Warrior to Hunter achievements thus far, and this time there are 3 Druid achievements ready for composting. Let's get into it.
This should be interesting.
In today's video, we're covering the following 3 Druid achievements. Claws Out, ultimately cornering us into gaining 600 attack with our hero as Druid. Everybody Shufflin, inviting us to have 75 cast when drawn spells trigger as Druid. And Rotten but Not Forgotten, teaching us the value of composting 100 minions. As we don't have to win games to complete these, we can befriend cute little aberrations when it makes things more interesting or efficient. All these guides include timestamps for each achievement and deck codes for each deck mentioned in the description below, in case you'd like to skip to one you're looking for. Now, let's sow some strategies in the soil. Let's begin with the 3-stage achievement where we ultimately need to gain 600 attack with our hero as Druid. Claws Out. The Druid questline encourages us to get progress on this while providing a very nice boost along the way from Guff the Tough's battlecry. There are plenty of ways to gain attack as Druid without relying on the questline, including just your hero power, but Guff does provide a sizable burst of progress each time you play him. That's precisely why the first deck we're introducing, Guff's Neverending Quest, aims to play as many copies of Guff as possible per game. This deck runs a Pounce, Feral Rage, Moon-Touched Amulet, and Park Panther package that will help any deck get progress towards the achievement, but which really help knock out the questline requirements very quickly as well. Living Seed can pull the Park Panther from your deck a bit more reliably while discounting it, or it can be used to pull out copies of Guff, which the Northshire Farmer shuffles into the deck. Mark of the Spikeshell also provides additional copies of Guff and feels amazing when paired with Solar Eclipse for 2 extra copies of him. Though Solar Eclipse can help you speed through the questline early on, or gain additional armor and an extra minion with Cenarian Ward later in the game if needed. Ironbark is probably the most questionable inclusion, but in addition to transforming any minion other than Guff into a nice roadblock for your opponent, it provides the opportunity to get a copy of any minion from your opponent's board, such as their mercenary, in hand thanks to Mark of the Spikeshell. We rarely used it that way, so it's probably the first candidate for adjustment if you're looking to tweak the deck a bit, but as it is, the deck has maintained over a 50% win rate across 14 games, and there were quite a few games where we summoned 3 Guffs per game, usually stopping there because the opponent was dead or conceded. We've got a gameplay highlight linked above and in the description if you'd like to see it in action. Next up, let's look at another standard deck which doesn't require the questline for progress towards this. Regis Kilbin's Wicker Punch Druid. The deck is pretty aggressive and runs Kodo Mount as a nice surprise burst of 4 additional attack on any minion which stuck to the board if Arbor Up isn't quite enough. One really nice inclusion we don't often see but works wonders in this build is Nordrassel Druid, as playing her on 4 can corrupt the Moon-Touched Amulet and allow you to play it immediately. Or she's just a nice additional board presence with other spells. As the curve is relatively low, Voracious Reader and Daddy Rome are nice top decks when you've dumped most of your hand. Now, we had a 100% win rate, but that was because we only played 3 games with it. However, at the time of writing, HS Replay is giving it a 51% win rate, so it is possible to climb with the deck. And the Mulligan stats on their site can help if you're looking for a little extra information to give you a boost. Now, in Wild, the questline fits very nicely into an odd Druid build, giving you a little extra progress with every hero power you do. This Guff Befriends the Moon deck has a very aggressive curve, but card draw from Fungal Fortunes and Ferocious Howl can help keep the pressure on the opponent as you maul their face off in preparation for a Guff-induced finisher. If that's not quite enough, the extra claws from Secure the Deck or resources from Nature Studies and Resizing Pouch will hopefully be enough to get you there. Horde Operative is your friend against Secret Mage in particular, but she also puts in work against a few other decks. And finally, if you're looking for a bit of a wacky way to come at this achievement in Wild, this Anacondra's Savage Beard can do a surprising amount of burst damage with a little setup. It's a Celestial Alignment deck running Twig of the World Tree alongside Sphere of Sapience for a swift ramp back to 10 mana, though Lady Anacondra and Nourish can put in work as well. The idea of the deck is to Celestial Alignment and regain your mana as quickly as possible to set up for a combo turn where you play Savage Combatant and Auction Master Beardo and go to town with an upgraded hero power thanks to Malfurion. Germination on Savage Combatant will make each hero power you're able to press ramp up the attack even faster. Lady Anacondra can help keep the spells going, but with 2 mana per hero power, there is a limit that even Lightning Blooms and Biology projects can't overcome, so it's not infinite. And as you can see in the gameplay footage in the background, with all the animations, it's a bit of a race to get the max damage possible. However, if your APM is high and your draws a little lucky, you can get to absurdly high attack values in a single turn. This is not a deck we'd recommend for the entirety of the achievement, but if you're looking for an interesting challenge to spice things up as you grind this one out, you might give it a try. Best of luck getting your fully sharpened claws out quickly. Now let's look at the achievement that felt like it was going to take forever when we started out, but actually went quite quickly once we pulled together these decks. Everybody Shufflin expects us to shuffle a bunch of cast when drawn spells into your deck so that we'll eventually trigger 75 of them. Sheldress Moontree does let us circumvent that process, but he's extremely slow to play and only allows us to get 3 triggers per game where we actually get to him. Fortunately, we got another friend with this expansion to help speed things along, Vibrant Squirrel. Since each squirrel shuffles 4 acorns, a deck with lots of cycle can speed through this fairly quickly. The first deck we're introducing is this Composted Squirrels deck from HS Replay. It's an aggro deck with the Razormane Battleguard Oracle of Elune package, but Oracle of Elune can give us additional Vibrant Squirrels to shuffle even more acorns into our deck. And to help us get to those acorns more quickly, it's running Composting, which means we can get progress towards the next achievement at the same time as we're breeding squirrels for this achievement. In Standard, at least, the only way to get progress towards this achievement is with Vibrant Squirrels and Sheldress Moontree. While I recommend decks with squirrels for faster completion, a deck that was quite a bit of fun to shake things up as we worked through this achievement was this Moontree the Fittest Druid. The deck is built into a Clown Druid shell, minus the clowns, for strong ramp so that we can get enough mana to play Sheldress quickly. Of course, casting a couple wild growths and nature studies wouldn't be all that impressive from Sheldress. So the deck is also running Lorekeeper Polkelt to make drawing our high cost spells after playing Moontree quite a bit more reliable. If you have Polkelt and Moontree in hand together at the same time, it might be worth considering playing Polkelt first with the realization that you'll miss a free Survival of the Fittest, but guarantee the second survival and a couple Cenarian wards for free from him. If you draw the Protectors instead of Cenarian Ward, even better, as you'll get an additional 8-drop on the board alongside the 6/6 Protector. It's not a fast way to get progress on the achievement, but it's a fun alternative to explore if you're getting tired of playing aggro druid. Though if you want to speed through this achievement even faster, this Squirrels and Dragons deck for Wild runs Ysera Unleashed for even more casts when drawn spells shuffled into our deck. And it's running Flibidinous Floop alongside Ysera for even more Dream Portals or an extra Vibrant Squirrel in a pinch. Once again, the deck is running Composting as part of the draw engine, which pairs well with all the token generation spells in the deck. Now, as you can see in the gameplay footage in the background, with so many cast when drawn spells shuffled into the deck, it's entirely possible you'll lose out on some of the value from the minions which could be summoned if your board is full before they stopped coming. But you'll get progress towards this achievement even if nothing gets summoned. Can 14 dragons and 8 squirrels break through an ice block? Nope. But they can break through this achievement really quickly. Good luck getting everybody shuffling. And the final achievement for this guide is Rotten, but not Forgotten. All we have to do for this one is compost 100 minions. So, running composting in a deck with lots of minions or token generators is the most efficient way to go for this one. And as the decks running squirrels are oriented towards going wide and getting decent value from composting, we're recommending the same decks for this achievement as the last achievement. For the composted squirrels deck from HS Replay, there's not much more to say, except that if you're focused more on getting composting value than winning, the deck is still showing as having over a 60% win rate. You may want to hold back on a few of your cheap tokens and generators so that you can guarantee value when you draw composting. We didn't really do that ourselves. As you can see here, we generally went all in, but that would be one tactic to improve your speed of progress. And in Wild, the Squirrels and Dragons deck can fill the entire board right away with Glowfly Swarm for a 7 mana, draw 7 cards composting quite frequently. If you're going for an earlier composting, Dreamway Guardians alongside a minion or two sticking to the board can get the composting going so that you can draw into the second one for even more amazing value, all while drawing into the Acorns and Dreams for progress on the Shufflin achievement. Again, not much more to say for this one, except that you'll likely mill a fair number of your own cards if you do go full composting, but you'll get speedy progress nonetheless. We could leave it here, but it would feel bad not to introduce at least one original deck for this achievement. When trying to figure out a way that a deck built for max composting progress could be transformed into something a bit more fun and interesting, what we came up with was using composting as a draw engine for the pieces of Cthulhu. The deck we landed on? This composting Cthulhu deck uses a spell Druid shell with a single Gibberling as the only minion. With so many tokens to play composting on, there were a few times we risked burning a piece of Cthulhu to get composting value and thin the deck. But there were other times where the composting served to completely fill our hand and get the pieces just as we had hoped. The end result? Awakening Cthulhu for a new age of annihilation of our opponent. I wish you the best of luck transforming your minions' deaths into awesome value to decimate your opponents. And that's a wrap. If you found this helpful, drop a like. By not getting lost on the way to the like button, you defend this guide from negative engagement and encourage the algorithm to find feral frenzies who are looking for ways to conquer the achievements as well. We've got just a few more United in Stormwind achievements to cover, so check back soon or subscribe, because Guff knows it could be tough to find our videos again if you're not subscribed. If you have any questions or suggestions, let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy participating in experiments live, check out our stream at twitch.tv/SSAlchemist. We currently stream on Saturdays and Sundays. And remember, you're awesome. Thank you for watching, and have an awesome day.